Live from your breaking news leader, Fox 16 Good Day Arkansas starts now.
Good Friday morning, everyone. Take a look at your screens right now and check out the overnight winter weather in Jonesboro. You can see a slight dusting, some ice as well. And the school closures we know about are scrolling at the bottom of your screen. They include Pine Bluff, Stuttgart, Sheridan, Brinkley. Much more to report on fox16.com. Go to our homepage. You'll see this yellow bar right there. Click on that. It says closings and it'll bring it up for you. We have team coverage to bring you in depth and the most up-to-date information to keep you safe. But first, let's check in with Natalie and Pat with more on what we're seeing this morning.
All right, thanks a lot, Suzanne. You know, it started really yesterday evening with some sleet and freezing rain in northwest Arkansas. And they've got the worst of it right now as far as temperatures go, where they feel like they're with wind chills below zero.
Man, yeah, below zero wind chills in northwest Arkansas. Feeling like 11 here in Little Rock.
That's cold enough.
Yeah, it's a cold start to the day. There's that snow, wintry weather, freezing rain, sleet and snow making its way through the state through the overnight hours, now heading its way east for us. Still have a few snow showers kind of lingering on across parts of eastern Arkansas. There you see over near Helena, West Helena into Memphis, getting a little bit of some light snow, maybe a little bit of some light snow in Stuttgart into Brinkley too. But most of it's clearing out, and I've been showing this because there you see it, sunshine. That's 6:30 in Little Rock. Of course, roads pretty much clear here. We do have some ice patches as you move eastbound on 40, but otherwise pretty clear here in Little Rock. But it's just cold. 23 is the temperature in Little Rock. We have 23 in Russellville, 21 in Clinton. With the winds coming from the northwest, it is making it feel, however, much colder. Feels like 11 in Little Rock. 1 is what it feels like in Harrison. -5 now in Fayetteville.
Woo.
Pat?
That's cold enough right there. Stop it. All right, take a look at your iDrive Arkansas map. We're looking at what the road conditions are like. If you see that shade of purple, that means that roads are covered either with snow or ice in East Arkansas. And then you kind of go down blue, the darker blue is partly covered to mostly clear, but we're looking at least partly covered to mostly covered roadways in East Arkansas, thanks to the ice and the snow that we've had here overnight. Now, the North Interchange, though, in North Little Rock, that is where we're seeing actually a pretty big delay here back in the city this morning. The South Interchange actually is looking okay as well, but just southeast of there along 30 eastbound, we have a little bit of slow traffic around 65th Street back to Scott Hamilton. A little slowed down from Rodney Parham to University on 630. The 430 River Bridge is looking pretty good, but I want to take you back across the Arkansas River into North Little Rock at that North Interchange. And yeah, the cars are going slow, but look what is coming on that grass. There are rays of sunshine hitting the ground. Suzanne?
Pat, thanks so much. We start our team coverage in Central Arkansas. Fox 16's Mitch McCoy is standing by. He is still driving on I-40, and he's been on the road for the past hour. Good morning, Mitch. Tell us where you are and what you're seeing.
Hey, good morning, Suzanne. We are in Biscoe right now, so we're in Prairie County. We're about 14 miles from Brinkley. We have seen patches of ice on Interstate 40. We just crossed the White River Bridge where there's a traffic backup. That was the first significant backup that we have been in since we've been on the road. But earlier this morning, a semi-truck jackknifed on the interstate, closed the road near Lone Oak for several hours. This is a salt truck right in front of us. This is the second salt truck we've seen out here on Interstate 40 this morning. They've been extremely busy responding to numerous slide-offs. I should say tow trucks have been busy responding to numerous slide-offs. I'm actually going to move over here and let him do his job. I know he's been busy all morning putting salt down. But what we've been seeing on Interstate 40, and it was about when we hit Carlisle, we saw dustings of snow, and in dustings of snow on the side of the interstate. And so as we kept driving and driving, we start running into situations where semi-trucks would spit moisture up underneath their tires and onto our windshield. Don't let that fool you if you're about to drive on the road, because tow truck drivers tell me that there are still numerous patches of ice on Interstate 40 right now, causing numerous slide-offs, and then of course those semi-trucks that would jackknife right here on the interstate. So we're going to keep making our way east. We hear that that's where roads are a little bit more dicey. We actually just passed one car. Car was snow covered on the front, so you can tell we're moving into an area where there's a little bit more snow than maybe dry conditions where we are now. Live in Prairie County, Mitch McCoy, Fox 16 News.
All right, Mitch, continue to drive safe out there. Thanks for that live report. The winter weather really affecting the northeast part of the state. We're going to check in with Fox 16's Chanley Painter, joining us live from Jackson County. And you were also driving earlier, Chanley, where you've seen a wreck. And what have the sheriff's office told you about what they're seeing out there as well?
Yeah, the sheriff's office in both Jackson County and Poinsett County said there's no major issues, but they've been called to a lot of just cars in the ditch or wrecks. There was a major wreck at the intersection of Highway 34 and Highway 14 East, between the Poinsett and Jackson County, where an 18-wheeler was jackknifed in the middle of the intersection, causing pickup trucks to swerve and miss and end up in the ditch. That has been cleared a little over an hour ago. But I also hear that I-555 going north towards Jonesboro had several wrecks throughout the morning in Poinsett and Craighead County. I just spoke here with the Jackson County judge, who says they've had crews out all night prepping the roads, along with the Arkansas Department of Transportation highway team here for Jackson County. They said that they hope there is a freeze dry now because it's very windy. That's drying out the roads, and of course as the sun comes up and the temperatures rise, they should have no problem. They said if you have to be out this morning, to just take your time, drive very carefully, and be aware of black ice. All morning as we've traveled Highway 14, it just kind of surprises you. All of a sudden you can feel the slip with your tires, so be very careful. And of course schools are closed here in Newport as well as Tuckerman and Jackson County, so enjoy the day off, and we'll send it back to you in the studio.
And Chanley, you look like you're bundled up, but you can just see the wind right there.
I know, right?
Is that even colder?
So I'm guessing her windshield is probably about 8 or 7 where she is right now.
Yeah.
That's cold.
All right. Well, you know, we checked in with Chanley and Mitch, who are in the western part of the state. Crews in Russellville are making sure everyone stays safe today as well. This was a scene last night. Phone lines down across the road. Look at that. Crews initially thought they were power lines. The road is closed for a short time. It reopened early this morning.
I'm glad it's open and going again. All right. So it's 8:05 right now. Let's go over to Natalie and take a look at our forecast still going on today. We've got a little bit of sun here in Little Rock, and that's a kind of a ray of hope for us, right?
That's right. It will help warm us up into maybe about 40 this afternoon. So it does warm up a bit. It's a cold start, and that winter weather is heading eastward. There you can see where we do have some light snow still continuing, possibly into Brinkley, Forest City, Mariana, heading east of the Mississippi River. And we're looking at clearing conditions. I've been showing this. This is RDOT showing sunshine peeking through in Little Rock. Roads clear in Little Rock. Didn't see much in the way of ice on the roadways in Little Rock. Most of it was east of our area, but 29 by around 9 a.m. with some clouds. Sunshine certainly by this afternoon, getting up to about 40, and then clouds begin to build back in tonight. We're going to have a cold night ahead for us. It's going to be a windy day today, so it's going to feel even colder. But the big concern right now is, of course, what was left over by that winter weather, which is those road conditions. We have some ice on the roadways, and certainly causing some concerns out there, right, Pat?
Yeah, that is. That's right, Natalie. We are still looking at ice, particularly all in East Arkansas, where the roadways are partly to mostly covered with snow and ice, both of them. Sometimes it's both, actually, where we've had some freezing rain and sleet laid down, and then that snow band that moved through southeast Arkansas really dumped about a ½ inch to an inch of snowfall. And probably the thickest of all that is probably maybe in Arkansas County, where we had some pretty good snowfall move through there. You can see there the road is still covered with a little light snow, and it's breezy. Currently 26 degrees around Stuttgart, and around Clarendon we're looking at 26 degrees. It won't flurries and breezy, and feels like 13 with the current wind chill there. Now back here in the city, got north and south interchanges with some delays out there. In fact, let's just take a look here on the north interchange with a little bit of sunshine and stop and go traffic. No ice really impacting the travel. This is just volume and people trying to get to work here in Little Rock. All right, let's look at your traffic. Let's go out to Hayden now, who is live. Suzanne, you got him?
Yes, I do. Yes, we're going to head over to Stuttgart, and that's where we find Hayden Nix this morning. And Hayden, you're dealing with a little bit of snow, and there's still some dusting on the ground where you are.
Yeah, definitely so. And you know, they were talking about how cold it is versus the wind chill. I think you don't even need a number for it. It's too cold to be outside kind of wind chill. I think I may rethink how we do these live hits, sitting inside a nice warm building and then point the camera out there so I don't have to freeze. But you know what? That's something people are doing. They're trying to stay inside, but we do have some movement out here. People do have to go to work. We're at the intersection of 79 and Main here in Stuttgart. You can see that a lot of the intersection there is turned back into slush, but still just outside the intersection here, a good little layer of ice is still kind of compacted in, where earlier this morning you had a lot of this that was mostly in the sleet form. And see, I can actually kind of really just use my foot to get this cleaned up now, so it's not staying in a sheet of ice at this point anymore. It's really trying to start to melt out. But you know, if you look in the sky above me, we are starting to see some clear skies occurring, a clear sky occurring, and hopefully we'll get some good sunshine in here in the next couple of hours to start to get this improvement on the way for the roadways here in eastern Arkansas. It's definitely going to be a cold one out there, so if you don't have to go outside, I highly recommend it. Enjoy a nice warm Friday inside if you can. We're live here in Stuttgart, Arkansas, going to continue to track this winter weather across the state. Back to you guys.
Hayden, did you bring your handy dandy thermometer?
I did. Well, it's in the car right now, but I can feel it's probably about 26 degrees.
You know what you need? It'd probably be a little warmer if you had an extra glove. I'll tell you that.
Maybe 27.
Maybe feel like 27.
Yeah, it feels like it. It's cold. Nothing else.
Well, stay warm. Thanks so much for that live report. Still to come on Good Day Arkansas, a big weekend in Central Arkansas. We'll have highlights of the events that are coming up. Plus, here's a look at conditions in Pine Bluff this morning. There is some ice on the road, as you can see. A full look at traffic with Pat, and he's going to take a look at the road conditions for you after the break.